How much money do you need to retire in 2026? 500,000, a million, 2 million? Well, depending on who you ask, the number is all over the place. Here's a quick breakdown of what experts are saying, what retirees actually live on, and how to start calculating your number. Let's start with what you've probably seen in the headlines. As of the time we're recording this video in July of 2026, Americans say they need about $1.46 million to retire comfortably. Americans, that's a broad term. That number has gone up significantly in just the last couple of years for three reasons: higher inflation, longer life expectancy, and a lot of concerns about Social Security and whether those checks are going to keep on coming. This is what people think they need, but it's not necessarily what they actually need. Number two, what retirees say. Retirees say it's a lot lower. Here's where it gets interesting. A survey of people who are already retired reveals a very different number. Retirees say you need closer to $800,000 to $825,000 to retire comfortably. Also, and perhaps more importantly, the average retiree did not retire with anywhere near that. Most had around $288,000 saved when they stopped working. Now, that may seem like a low number, but this is from people who have already done it, not from people thinking about doing it. This proves that retirement is more than what you've saved. It's about income, lifestyle, and strategy. Number three, do the math. Let's use the formula of 25. Instead of chasing a random number, you need to start doing the math. One way to calculate what you might need is to take your annual spending and multiply it by 25. If you want $40,000 a year, you need about $1 million. $60,000 a year, $1.5 million. If you want $100,000 a year, maybe you need closer to $2.5 million. That's an interesting formula. A lot of people haven't heard of the rule of 25 or the formula of 25, but it's a way of just starting planning. It's not the destination. It's not the end result. Number four, what retirees really spend. Let's ground this in reality a little bit. What are retirees actually spending today? On average, Americans 65 and older spend about $61,000 a year, about $5,000 a month. That covers housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and lifestyle costs. If you apply that 25 times rule to that, $60,000 times 25 is $1.5 million. So you notice how that lines up almost perfectly with that $1.46 million number from the headline earlier. Number five, people often overlook Social Security. Of course, retirees don't rely on savings alone. They also have Social Security, and the average benefit's around $2,000 a month, or $24,000 a year. So again, let's say you want to spend $60,000 a year in retirement. Social Security covers $24,000. So now you really only need $36,000 from your savings. Apply that 25x rule to that. $36,000 times 25. Well, now I need $900,000. That's a big difference from $1.5 million. And that's why some people retire comfortably with under $1 million and others don't with twice that. Number six, the real range of 2026. Most experts will tell you that the real range of what you need to retire is somewhere between $750,000 and $2 million. Now, where you fall in that range depends on your lifestyle, whether your home is paid off, your health, how long you live. I think another big thing that gets missing in this is where you live. If you live in an expensive area, you need more. We always joke when we watch HGTV, man, we are rich in Waco, Texas, because on Chip and Joanna's show, houses are inexpensive. On Hometown in Mississippi, we're rich in Mississippi. Houses are very inexpensive there. Then you watch the Property Brothers in Canada and you say, that little postage stamp lot and that tiny little house is $2 million. We cannot live there. Where you live matters a lot because that determines how much cost of living is around you and everything. So never forget that. When you hear these national numbers and national averages, figure out what makes sense for you and your community. Where you are, find out your local numbers, take Social Security out of it, and then figure out what your 25x rule is from there. The bottom line is there is no magic number, only your number. Also, this is why everything we've talked about is a baseline of information. There's a lot more that needs to be involved. Think about things like tax strategies, pensions, inheritance that comes in. Those all can have a big impact on your retirement. If you want help figuring out what you may need based on your situation, your lifestyle, your desires, reach out to us. Just go to our website, michigansretirementcoach.com, or click on the links posted here.